Hello and welcome to another studio build video. I'm John Millay. In this episode, we're going to be working on the insulation in the attic upstairs. Before I get any of this new stuff up there, I have some insulation that was left over from the walls. I'm going to get up there and rearrange that, put it where it needs to go, and then we'll start getting the new insulation up and installed.
Well, this video has been a long time coming. I started the first part of this project at the end of September and just finished it here in the early part of December. So I put in this insulation in September and then finished last week and put up the attic decking, which you will also get to see here. Of course, this is itchy stuff. I'm all covered up. I've got my mask on. I don't like breathing the particles. I can feel it. I can tell that it affects me. Boy, it was a challenge crawling around up there in between the joists or on top of the joists. But we got the insulation finished and then the decking put up, and now everything's covered up and it's easy to get around up there. The next project is going to be finishing our air conditioner setup and installation. And of course, having the decking up there is going to make that a lot easier.
Well, that's all we're going to do for today. We need to make some cuts to the pieces that we're going to put in the bays that have our trusses so that we can squeeze a skinny piece behind the truss and put another piece over on this side. Anyway, we'll do that another day. And we're going to leave some of the bays open for a while until we get our air conditioner stuff sorted out. We might run some of the ducting in the bays. So anyway, we'll be back shortly with some more insulation video. Hey friends, so we're back working on the insulation project. After I filmed the first part of the insulation footage, I did some work finishing the drywall and painting in the studio here, got that primed, and started working on the air conditioner. Anyway, back to working on the insulation. I've got it mostly done. I have one piece left to put in, and then we're gonna start working on putting in the plywood decking in the attic. We are going to cover the attic floor with plywood. We're gonna have to cut it up to kind of finagle it up there in between the rafters in the attic area up there. Anyway, we're gonna get back to work, finish that insulation, and start working on the decking. All right, so we're gonna get this last piece of insulation in. Unfortunately, we're not gonna use up this roll, but what can you do? They don't come in small quantities. 25-foot roll is how it comes. So we'll have some insulation left over. And we'll use that some way or another, maybe put it in my attic in the house or something. All right, well that wasn't so bad. Now we will cut it off here. At what feels like a good length. And that is that. Climb back up out of here and Lay this one back down. Pepper! I don't know if you can hear, my kids are playing down there in the shop. All right, well, let's get this turned around here. That's pretty crazy. You can really see the flecks of insulation floating around in the air. We're done insulating. And I guess now I'm gonna start trying to figure out how to get this decking up in here in these tight areas. So I don't have a long time today to work on that, but we'll try to get a couple pieces up here before we have to quit. So let's do that. Get to it. All right. Did some measuring and some cutting, and can you see it there? Yeah. And we finagled the first sheet mostly up here, and I'm gonna let you watch me try to fit it into place. Let's see how this goes.
So this process actually turned out to be not as difficult as I thought it would be. I did have a couple sheets stick, and I had to kind of recut those a little bit. You'll see that here in just a minute, but just a couple. Other than that, everything was smooth. I was able to measure and cut real accurately, which made the whole process go nice and easy. This piece that I'm cutting here ended up sticking just a little bit, so I had to cut it again, but wasn't too bad. And I actually did the cutting, the recut. I did it up there in the attic, so I didn't have to bring it back down again, which was good. And now we are working that piece into place. It binds on the truss, and I'm not sure if that's because of the angle of the truss or the angle of the ceiling joists to the truss. I didn't have this problem in any other spots, so I'm not totally sure why it happened here.
All right. Did have to trim that slot a little bit to fit around the truss, but we got it fit in. Let me show you. So we have our first row in, and it's looking good.
Now I'm screwing the plywood down to the joists. I debated maybe nailing, using a brad nailer, but ultimately decided to go with screws. This area is going to see a lot of temperature change, which will mean some expanding and shrinking of the wood, and this will keep everything solid and secure, even with those weather changes.
All right, well, I did not time lapse all of the cutting and moving of all the panels, but I am going to time lapse for you the installation of the last 3 panels or so. And let me flip the camera and show you what it looks like right now. So let me turn my light on. So we have made a ton of progress, and it looks amazing, and it is so much easier to get around up here. So let me put the camera up on the tripod, and we'll get these last few sheets installed.
The first couple sheets were more challenging because I had to lay out over the joists. But the farther I went, of course, the easier it got because I had the previous panels to walk on and didn't have to crawl into those tight spaces. Now here I'm back in a tight space, but I'm not having to lay out over the joists. I can just lay on the plywood. So it was a lot easier, and boy, we got her done. Feels great. I say this with every project, but it was super satisfying to get this project finished.
Well, there you have it, folks. We got her done. I am going to have to move the panels that I have cut around my duct here. I need to do a little bit more work on those, but they're in. And I only screwed a couple of those screws on those panels in, so I won't have to undo a whole lot. Wow. Man, it is just a world of difference having this plywood up here. It's going to help with sound deadening a little bit, structural integrity a little bit, although it's not really necessary. It helps very much getting around up here. No more crawling from joist to joist, and it's going to make it a lot easier to get our air conditioner all set up. So whew, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video, which I think will be our air conditioner video. Or maybe, have I done the door video yet? I don't remember. Anyway, got another video coming at you soon. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.